That was good, man. It's your man, Dr. BOA. You know, we hear a lot of talk about if you neglect a woman, she'll go get attention from somewhere else, and how women seek attention and how they always want attention, and how you have to make sure you're being attentive and understanding and thinking about the woman and making her feel needed and desired and wanted. Let me tell you something. If you give a woman too much attention, it is absolutely the same as neglecting her. As a matter of fact, it is even worse than neglecting her. Giving a woman more attention than she needs, deserves, or wants is the worst form of neglect. And men are guilty of it all of the time. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff.
Chuck Diesel.
Now, what do I mean when I say giving her too much attention is the worst form of neglect? Because when you give a woman attention all of the time, you're absolutely neglecting the other parts of her psyche, of her being, of her spirit that need to be taken care of. We know a woman will give you tests. We know a woman will try you. A woman will push your buttons and try to see what she can get away with. At those times, she needs to be reprimanded. She wants to be reprimanded. There are times when a woman wants to be chastised. There are times when a woman needs to know that she's dealing with a man who is not going to allow her to do whatever she wants to do and accept whatever she decides to dish out. During these times, you as a man can't afford to be overly considerate, overly thoughtful, Mr. Nice Guy, overly attentive, not in the beta male way. You see, being attentive to a woman is not about doing a specific set of actions or a specific set of interactions. Paying attention to the woman is exactly that. When you're sitting in a classroom in school, when you pay attention, paying attention means you're actually understanding and accepting and receiving what the instructor is saying. You're not just in the class paying attention to the window outside. Paying attention to your woman means seeing what she's doing, knowing what she's doing, and understanding the way you need to react to what she's doing. That's why Mr. Nice Guy can't win, because Mr. Nice Guy thinks that he needs to be nice to his woman all the time. Your woman knows she doesn't deserve for you to be nice to her all the time. She knows sometimes you need to cut up on her. She knows sometimes you need to put her in her place. She knows sometimes you need to verbally welcome her to a verbal reckoning. Sometimes she wants that. So when you avoid that, for the sake of giving her quote unquote attention, what you're doing is the opposite of giving her attention. You're paying no attention. Sometimes your woman will do something or say something to get that reaction from you because she needs it. And then you complain when she goes and gets that reaction from a man who understands that she needs it. Or from a man who is simply just going to give it to her because that's the kind of man he is. See, what we don't understand as men is that the majority of time that we spend with women is spent trying to please the woman as opposed to understanding the woman, trying to give the woman what we think she wants as opposed to giving the woman what she needs. If you want to maintain a positive, powerful position with a woman, then you had better be willing to give her what she needs in order to stay in that feminine submissive mindset that she needs to stay in, because she's not just going to stay in it 24/7 just because you're a man. And you know she damn sure not just going to stay in it just because she's a woman. We call it test. We say women give you those critical tests, but she's not giving you a test. She's being who she is. Your response is the test. You are the one that has to choose to respond in a proper way to these things. I see men all the time, woman talk to him crazy as all outdoors. He goes out and tries to reward her with gifts to make her act right. No, when a woman disrespects you and talks to you crazy, you need to reprimand her and put her in her place. Hell, maybe she'll go out and buy you a gift if you're man enough to do that. A lot of times women need to be reminded that they're dealing with a man. And I know some beta male simp man Johnny gonna come in here and say, well, Dr. BOA, that's too much work. Why I gotta remind her that I'm a man? Well, I'm being a man every day. Why I gotta remind her that I'm a man? I ain't gotta remind her that. She see me every day. You don't know what you're talking about, Dr. BOA. Talking about putting in all that work for the woman. 1 minute you say don't put in work, next minute you say you gotta remind the woman you're a man. Unsubscribe. Okay, sucker, unsubscribe, but before you go, let me tell you this. A woman needs to be reminded that you're a man, because when you're doing all that lovey-doveyness all the time, you're acting like a female. When you're all in love, lovey-dovey all the time, always want to cuddle up on her, always want to know where she is, always want to keep up under you, go where she goes, have her go where you go, always want to be in the room where she at, don't want to give her no time. Yes, you are acting like a female. And at some point, that woman not only needs to remind herself, but she may possibly need to remind you that you are a man. And so when she gives you that test, it's not a test to see what you'll take. It's an action that wants to spark the proper reaction from you of asserting yourself again. You can't go but so long without asserting yourself before your woman seeks that assertiveness. You can't go but so long without aggression before your woman seeks that aggression. You can't go so long without standing up for yourself until your woman seeks just for you to stand up for yourself and remind her that you're a man. Because at the very moment you stop doing that, that woman's going to feel like she's not with a man anymore. And that's how Mr. Nice Guy ends up with his old lady over there having fun with Jody. Because she can get what she wants from Jody. What does she want? A man who acts like a man. So for future references, anytime you think that when your woman's misbehaving or she's doing something you know she is supposed to do and you know she knows she's not supposed to do it, you can't reward her. You can't love a woman back into acting right. You have to give her what everyone else in the world gets, what you'd give anyone else when they cross that line. There are certain lines that a woman crosses, you have to reprimand her. You have to chastise her. You have to put her back in her place. You have to let her know that either you correct this or we're going to have a serious problem. You have to be willing to walk away from a woman who's not willing to do things your way or no way. The problem is the majority of you men are too busy trying to do things her way or no way. It's never going to work. She's never going to accept it long term. And eventually she's going to detest your presence, because the one thing she wants and you're not giving her is a man who's gonna be a man. And furthermore, what you need to realize is that if you're not gonna be a man, that woman's gonna get a man regardless. The best thing you can hope for is that she leaves you before she goes and does that. But knowing you, she probably knows that even if she goes and does that, even if you find out, all you're going to do is say, well, baby, what can I do to make it better? How can I fix this? We can still be together, baby. How can I fix this? What do I need to do to keep you from feeling like you need somebody else? And a look on her face, no matter what it is, you need to accept it as a look of pity. Because the way you sounded was pitiful to her and anyone else who heard it. Everyone except you. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men have to say. I'm out.